Sons of Montezuma podcast. Of course, it is March Madness, and the Aztecs, well, they're not in it. But we are here, and we are the voice of the fans, and we wanted to get on a live and talk about everything that's going on because a lot has changed. But one thing that remains the same, my friends to the left and to the right of me. What's going on, Fiend? How are you doing, man? It's good to see you, dude. Rocking the shades as always. You were busy whistling this past weekend. Good to see you, dude.
Yeah, you too, man. How you feeling, man? You feeling better? You recovered?
Oh, I'm feeling like I'm feeling whole. I'm feeling whole. The left and the right of me. I'm feeling very centered.
Good.
Very, very whole.
Very zen.
Oh, well, he's just here so he doesn't get fined. Mike! What's up, Mike? Glad you can make it.
Just here so I won't get fined.
Yeah.
Thinking about, hey, women. Talk about women. I was thinking about it. Like, I grew up with women, the San Diego State women's basketball before the men. So it's like, it's kind of cool. I mean, what a day yesterday, Beautiful day. Women
Beautiful
won.
day.
STFC, they tied. Always plays Real Salt Lake tough with the red card at the end. Legos, ice cream, homemade whipped cream. Pretty neat day. Pretty neat Sunday,
Little Home Depot. Not enough time.
We did go to Home Depot. We did, but we get Kansas. I don't know if the women have ever played Kansas. That's pretty cool, dude. At the Allen Fieldhouse. That's gonna be. I'm pumped.
You've been there.
Yeah.
Is it big? Is it huge? Like they let the women play there too.
I don't think it's huge. It's good size, but it's kind of one of those stadiums where the aura of it is bigger than the actuality of it. It still is what it is, but
it's a really old building, right?
I don't remember. It's been there for a long time, but when I don't know. But it is. If anybody gets out a chance to go out and see it, I was lucky enough to see, our 2013 team beat Kansas with all those first rounders. I think on Kansas. 24, yeah. Well, 2013-14 team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's going to be cool to see Thursday afternoon.
We'll get into some of that. Fiend, you were there whistling it up with Andy. That was really cool. Good to see you got your dance moves on. The women did win, as you guys are saying. The W-bit, is that what it's called? The W-bit?
Yeah, is that? I didn't realize that was different. Did Andy get out of the parking structure? Is he still in there? He tried to outthink himself. Yeah, I thought the WBIT and the WNIT were the same thing, but obviously not. So
it's actually a step up from the WNIT. Like there's better,
really? Okay.
Yeah, there's better teams that just missed out on the tournament. A lot of teams that won their regular season that, like us, that did not win their conference tournament. So really strong field, and we've played two pretty tough games, and they've both been really exciting.
Yeah, that's sweet.
What was it? 56-41, and you said they held McNeese to their lowest point total. Is that what it was?
Yeah, of the season. Yeah, they were just bricking everything. It was great.
Bricking. Well, that's cool. That's hey, uncharted territory. So good luck to the women's team putting it down. At least there's some postseason magic going on, right? So that's great.
And it was great to have not at Viejas. Would have loved to have at Viejas, but Jenny Craig Pavilion is a perfect venue for the women.
Slim Jim.
Slim Jim. It was a lot of Aztec fans there for both games. A lot of excitement. A lot of loud cheering, whistling, and made it difficult on the opponents. And I think it definitely helped our team, especially when we got runs going. We were able to helped us pull away with those runs. So it was fantastic just to watch. I love this team. I love this women's team. It's been so much fun to watch them, and I'm just glad that I got to watch two more games in person with them.
Like it's a different vibe, right? Because they had such a spectacular season that it's like you want to see the postseason, even though it's not the March Madness tournament. At least you wanted to see more games because you just knew that there was their journey wasn't over, right? They're moving forward, moving on, as they're saying on socials
It's
and all
just so
that
much
stuff.
fun to watch. I mean, I really enjoy watching this women's team. Yeah.
So they take on Kansas. That is going to be 4:30 Pacific on the 26th, as you guys already mentioned. So yeah,
The quarterfinals of the WBIT. If they upset Kansas, they will then move on to the Final Four in Wichita, Kansas, where Wichita State plays their basketball games in the Cook Center, Coke Center. I don't know how you pronounce that. Yeah.
well, you have to keep us updated, maybe next week or something like that, Fiend, and see how little recap on that. But for the time being, we're going to talk about for some men's hoops. Now, what do we see here? Because I just want to bring across some fun things off the internet, right, guys? We were there watching the micro mini wrestling in Vegas, and this caught my attention because there was a moment there when we were in Vegas at the micro mini wrestling where I thought literally one of the little guys was gonna get thrown on us, and I actually did see it.
I was hoping they would.
That is Barstool, though. This is Barstool. So somebody got it. Somebody got thrown on it. Anyways, I wanted to bring this up also because we were in Vegas and Keith Sweat was performing. Mike brought it up. He's like, dude, Keith Sweat's performing down. Was it at the Virgin Hotel?
I don't remember where it was at.
And I came across this clip, awesome basketball clip. I think it was his high school ball, set to a perfect Keith Sweat slow jam. Let's just enjoy the smooth butterness. Oh my goodness. Just absolutely diving for the court. Look at the kid's reaction. Looks away. Turned and looked away.
That's
nothing but net.
That's white on white crime right there, bro. Holy shit, dude! Like you got to make that shot, but then the fact he did that to that dude, like I don't know who the kid who got his ankles broken, but you need to move, man.
Look at the crowd. Just yes, hallelujah.
I mean, that's great savagery.
Keith Sweat, so smooth, very much.
My dad came down first game in Florida, watched me play. We come out of the game, we're walking to the dorm.
Now, if you guys don't know who this is, talk about white on white crime, dude. This is white chocolate. White chocolate, bro. Yeah. Jason Williams. I mean, this is from our era. This is my era, dude. He was so much fun to watch. Anyways.
And Fred Taylor, Javon Curse, and Ike Hilliard about 30 yards down there. And they like, hey, white boy. My dad said, son, are they talking to you? I said, yeah, Dad, let's just keep it moving. What's good? Where I'm from, it's like the white folks live right here, and then the high school, and then the black folks. You know what I'm saying? So I spend most of my time on the backside of the high school.
But you gotta love that the niggas loved you, though.
To be honest with you, bros recognize me more than white folks out in
I bring it up. I only bring it up because, dude, like he is one of the. If you guys haven't seen him on doing podcasts, like he's one of the most genuine voices out there talking hoops right now, and it's so entertaining to listen to him speak. Like I don't think you ever really heard him talk too much when he was a player, but now that he's like several years removed, retired, like dude, he drops so much knowledge, so many stories. Like it's super entertaining to watch him.
Yeah,
I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen it yet.
It's still crazy him and Randy Moss are on the same team.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that was fun, dude. Like, but he's like, I love the Kings growing up with Stojakovic and Weber and watching them. That was like wild, man. Like they were fun. That was like the greatest show on the court, kind of like the Rams were, honestly.
They were ahead of their time, man. Big time.
Yeah. And
I'm a Laker fan growing up as a kid, so like it was kind of tough to watch them because they would put the moves on them a lot. But oh man, it's so much fun to watch back in those times.
Didn't they hit that one series with the Lakers that came down to like Game 7 or something? And I think went to Kings at home. I forget.
That
was
a little later with Bibby.
That was Bibby, yeah.
Yeah, they had a really good shot that year to win the title. But
very controversial series that series was with Doug Christie, Vlade Divac, Weber. Like that was a squad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness!
Don't forget Peja. Remember Hedo Turkoglu? Hedo Turkoglu was kind of the other, and then you had what's his name from Alabama?
Horry?
No, from Alabama who played for the
Charles
Kings.
Speedwell?
No.
No,
I could see him. Gerald. What's his name?
You're gonna make me look
Gerald
up
Wallace.
Kings.
Gerald Wallace. He was an athlete, man. Like that dude was ridiculous. I mean, he was kind of young when that squad was really where they were, but he was nasty, dude. Yeah, he was with the Kings from 01 to 04 and then the Bobcats, but athletically, like he was solid.
What's going on, T Mac?
Huh?
So we turning into a Kings podcast now?
Well, we got
No. Just stuff.
We have to. We're on the transfer portal right now, right?
It's technically off season for us, right?
Yeah.
Technically off season. These are just things I found funny on the internet, so I love it.
Arizona is going to win the national championship, and Bryce James is going to be a big reason why. Take a
I love this. Bryce James, the reason why U of A is going to win the Natty. Listen to this.
look at this play right here. Jaden Bradley gets the block, runs ahead in transition, and nails a huge three on the other end. When he runs off the court, the first person to greet him is none other than Bryce James. Bryce is the best teammate in all of basketball, and I'm not just talking about college. Here's a couple of Bryce's best plays from his game against Long Island. You can see Bryce in the corner right here. He swings his arm up right as the shooter releases it to force an air ball. This guy had made his last 3 threes in a row before Bryce started to contest, and then right here, Bryce did it again. One thing that Bryce does such a good job of is staying on his feet for damn near the whole game. You can see that he's the only guy on the bench that refuses to sit down during the entire defensive stand. This type of energy is contagious, and I guarantee the entire team feels it at all times. And then right here on this play, I thought that Bryce was about to jump out of his seat and grab this loose ball. He does a good job of showing restraint, though. He stays seated and doesn't get the tech. And then here on the offensive side of the ball, Bryce does a great job of staying on his feet once again, stays locked in on both sides of the basketball. And then a bit of a scary play right here. Bryce is the first teammate to pop off the bench and check on his boy. I went ahead and slowed it down. Those are actually Bryce's hands that touch his teammate's shoulders and help him pop back up.
Hey, that's a helping hand right there. That's like Fiend's whistle, just being that sixth man on the court at all times. You know what I mean?
Good teammate. Good teammate.
No disrespect. That's kind of messed up picking on Bryce like that. I mean, he's a true freshman, redshirting at U of A, but Fiend hates U of A, so I figured that would fit in a little nicely.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, how were you feeling yesterday watching that U of A Utah State?
Oh, it sucked. It sucked. It sucked watching Burries hit that dagger 3. Yeah, no, that definitely hurt. I wanted to see Arizona. I wanted to go to the game, but it was all sold out. I mean, I was like $200 a ticket for bench seats, and I'm thinking, well, it'll come down. Nope, completely sold out. So we had to watch it over at McGregor's.
Good games.
Hey, I love this story. Check this out.
Rodman, I heard, would go out drinking, would show up drunk the next day during the game, but would still play.
Really?
Yeah,
Not true.
that's what he said in his book.
Yeah, I guess I sell books.
Oh, okay. So you're saying he was actually disciplined?
Yeah. Like, let me tell you, there's one thing anybody and everybody can tell you about D-Rod. He'd sit there and watch that tape and be stretching and overstretching and rewinding the tape back, sitting on the treadmill. Everybody else goes out and warms up. He's there riding the bike, doing whatever. So Phil, everybody, all right, everybody come in. And Dennis' seat is not there. And I'm like, somebody gonna go get Dennis? And he was like, it'll be all right. Dennis walks out while Phil is talking, just with a towel on. Goes straight into the shower, takes a shower. We hear the shower going, Phil's talking. Phil acting like it's not happening. It's like it's not there. By the time we go out, he's out tied up. By the time he doesn't speak, and then the show is on. At the end of the game, everybody's sitting around talking to media, doing whatever. Dennis is back in the training room riding the bike. Not that he didn't run enough on court and played the entire 48 minutes and grabbed 20 rebounds, stayed in shape. So anybody, and they would know that. So anybody, and he had asthma. So imagine a guy with asthma who would overdo his cardio. And then he got on the weights. And it was all she wrote. He changed the NBA. Imagine being 6'7", getting Defensive Player of the Year and leading the lead in rebounds like every year he played. At 6'7", not 7 foot, not 6'9", 240 pounds, 6'7", not a great shooter, not a big time scorer, but he changed the way we look at it, changed the way the intensity of the game. But
I love this story so much. John Sally, for those of you guys that don't know, played with Rodman at the Pistons in Detroit, later on with the Bulls, and then Sally. I don't know if he played with Rodman during his time on the Lakers, but Sally was also a Laker. Just a tremendous story about Rodman, dude. Not the most physically gifted dude, but he worked himself into shape and was just a freak out there on the court, rebound machine, defensive machine. If you guys aren't up on Rodman, you need to go back and watch highlights of Rodman just be a monster out there. This is the kind of guy that we need on this Aztecs team. I love this story, but you know, all the misconceptions of how much of a partier he was. He was super disciplined, locked in. Fiend, you know a little something about the Worm.
Oh yeah, I mean he was great to watch. What I love about him is just his sort of spidey sense of knowing where the ball was going to be. Like he really, I think, studied the game, especially from a rebounding perspective, and he knew based on certain shots where they were going to be, and he was there. And not everyone has that gift, and I think he also did, you know, a lot just watching over the years, watching the ball come off the rim. You know, he got to the right spots, and that's why he was such a great rebounder, and then the physicality. And back then, when you had in the 90s, it was very, very physical. I mean, you think about those matchups with the Bulls and the Pistons and the Bulls and the Knicks, and just how physical those teams were. You needed sort of like an enforcer and a guy who was going to go in there and mix it up and get dirty. You know, he was very kind of like a showman, and, you know, he had all the crazy hair and all that stuff, but man, he was a blue collar lunchbox guy that, you know, did all the dirty work for your team. And he was just fantastic, and a big reason why they won 3 championships after Jordan came back from retirement.
And didn't he marry Carmen Electra as well?
Yeah.
As a rebounder, as a defender,
he was
like,
wild,
he
man.
scoring.
Remember when he was in the bride outfit? Remember that, when he had the dress on? He got all like, he was all dressed in dress. You remember
his book signing, right?
Dude, he was wild.
Who did that first? Was it him or Ricky Williams? I think it was him, right?
It was him. Ricky.
It was him. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you know, it is what it is. Anyways, love that story. I wanted to kind of round this off.
These are the only teams that can win March Madness this year.
Okay, this is a little. I don't know if this counts as analytics, but I found this very important. The only teams that could win the Natty this year.
Since 2002, 22 of the last 23 national champions have fallen under this specific Venn diagram. You must be top 25 in offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency by KenPom. KenPom is a college basketball database that has been a trusted source for college basketball fans and media since 2002. So who are these teams this year that fall in that group? Well, the teams at the top like Michigan, Duke, and Arizona are there. Big 12 stalwarts like Iowa State and Houston are there too. Last year's champion Florida is on the list, as well as 2023 and 2024 champion UConn. But there are some popular teams that don't fit this criteria. Sorry, Purdue, Illinois, and Kansas fans, your teams are on the outside looking in. But that's what makes March mad. There's been one team to break this metric, which was 2014 UConn. Could we see it happen again this year? That's what makes March great. Anything can happen.
How crazy. 2014 UConn, the only team since 2002.
Hey, you know, the best teams left are the ones who are probably going to win the national championship. The best teams left are the ones. Hey, Michigan, Duke, and Arizona, the 3 of the 4 number 1 seeds have the best chance of winning the championship. Like, duh. I would. Hold on. The X factor I'm looking at, if I had to pick one, is Iowa.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see Iowa go all the way. It'd be amazing.
That's my dark horse.
They are not on that list. They are 31st in KenPom defensive efficiency. But, you know, you guys make a lot of fun of me with all the metrics and everything and harping on that. But there's so much truth to that, you know. And with our team, we have, you know, I've always traditionally had great defense. And this year we were 16th in KenPom. But we finished 102nd in KenPom efficiency. And the thing is, too, that the efficiencies are going up. They're not going down. They're going up. The game is evolving. Teams are paying more attention to metrics. They're strategizing based on metrics. And so, and then the consolidation of all the talent, right, at the top is then creating this massive influx of not just a couple teams having off the charts metrics, but now like 5 to 10 teams, you know, that can all compete and have separated themselves. And so for the Aztecs, 102 offensive efficiency is not going to cut it. Like you're not going to go very far if you get to the tournament at all, like we didn't this year, right? But even if you get in, that's not going to cut it. You got to be at least, I would say, top 50 in offensive efficiency, and we need to find a way to get better on that end. That's a huge thing that they need to fix, next year, or try to at least.
Well, one thing, if the Aztecs could just add a guy like this on the team. More cowbell, baby. More cowbell. Reminds me of somebody. I wonder who. Making all that. Look at those moves, man. Look at those moves. Oh my goodness. Look at the moves. Just trouble.
Smooth like butter.
I love it. Okay, enough of that.
It's been Nick Boyd's second half, and he got inside again, but he missed the shot. High Point's got the rebound on the outlet to Johnston, and his first two-pointer of the year.
Talk about High Point, his first two points of the year, a game winner. You guys saw Nick Boyd missed that layup, and High Point took down
High Point the
Wisconsin.
lead. Boyd, Badgers leading scorer. On the drive, he's been sensational, and his hand has the shot blocked.
Awesome game, one of my favorite games of the tournament so far, guys. Did you watch any of this, guys? Any of you?
I was working, so I didn't get a chance to see. I saw the replays, but I didn't see it live. No.
A lot of people scratching their head about Boyd, but I mean, he had a fantastic year. I mean, he was putting up huge numbers, and it wasn't enough to beat High Point.
Like, that's interesting to me. I always say you don't have to be the best team. You just have to be the best team that night. And the first round, I think that you can get away with that. But having to string together 2, 3, 4 games in a row, the best team, if there's going to be a scare somewhere, like look at Nebraska, right? You're going to get a scare. And we had the same thing when we went to the Final Four. You just there's always going to be a game when you have to persevere and survive. And then you could put 3 or 4 together. And a lot of these teams, for the most part, I mean, I don't know if a lot of them had. I mean, St. John's had to outlast Kansas, but that's a battle of two titans there. You know what I mean? So that was
let's continue. Let's continue. Hold your horses, Mike.
And the Panthers are fouled with 1.6.
Awesome environment. Nebraska.
This is wild.
I didn't get the final shot there, but Nebraska, their first NCAA tournament victory, awesome against Vanderbilt. That game was so much fun, and they took over that whole arena there. I mean, it was Go Big Red. Is that what they are? The Cornhuskers.
Like that. So that's Nebraska's first NCAA tournament title or victory ever.
And then now, right? They won again, right?
It just shows you how difficult it is. I mean, we have quite a few now, but I mean, that just shows you how difficult. Like I believe Creighton's never even been to an Elite 8. There's things like that. There's some weird anomalies with teams. You're like, oh, they should be there, but sometimes it just, it's crazy.
Creighton went to the Elite 8 against us, but they've never.
Oh, okay, there you go. The first time, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Whoa, to me, it just, Nebraska has traditionally been always a football school, never a basketball school. But to me, this just shows you what the power of NIL can do in raising the floor or the ceiling of a program. And not to say that they don't have, good coaching. Well, they got Fred Hoiberg, I believe. Isn't he the coach at So, they have a pretty good coach, but I think that influx of NIL that you're seeing and being able to get the players that they're able to get is a big reason why Nebraska, a school that's been sort of a perennial doormat in whether it's the Big 12 or the Big 10, is now having success in the tournament.
And talk about Creighton's coach retiring, McDermott. There in that state of Nebraska, all that success they had over Nebraska, like what you're saying, Mike, and he retires.
Well, this is the second year in a row that no mid major has been in the Sweet 16. So this is starting to become a trend. Like Fieden says, with the NIL,
Yeah, and the only high seed that made the Sweet 16 was Texas. Like the 11th
11.
seed that everyone's like, why'd that Power 4 team get in with 14 losses or whatever? It should have been SDSU or another mid-major team, and then they go to the Sweet 16. That you hate to see it if you're a mid-major.
These are my favorite games, by the way, guys. My favorite endings of what we've seen so far in the tournament. So I see you guys in the chat talking about the next ones. Let's see what's next.
He's got to go. Darling puts it up.
In Viejas, St. John's takes down Kansas.
But here's the amazing thing and the funniest thing I've ever been involved with. So we're going to run a play, but they got fouls to give, and Bells comes up to me and says, run power, which is a high back screen pick and roll. So I walk away. I said, okay, power. I walk away and said, wait a second. He hasn't scored a bucket, and he wants to run a play for himself. And I'm thinking as I'm walking, I said, but he's Bells. And not only did he do it, he went with his right hand. Real proud of him because to want the ball when you haven't made a shot, I'm so happy for St. John's and the fans. We had great fans out here. So happy for the fellas.
What an awesome game that was. In Viejas, St. John's, hey, it's been a while since they've been in the Sweet 16. I think it was back in the Ron Artest days. I actually liked that St. John's team back with Ron Artest. They were really, really fun to watch. But they did it here in San Diego at Viejas. You got to see some big names down there. And congrats to them. This last one I got here dialed up. Florida and Iowa, Mike, the Iowa team that you're really curious about. Take down number 1 defending champ Florida on this.
And here we go. 8.9 to play. Sturts with the catch. Sturts bounce pass to the corner. Fulgaris for 3.
Just nailed it right there. That's all I got of that game right there. But awesome way to end a Sunday.
Corner 3 for Fiend.
Love them, man. Camp in the corner, man. Shoot them all day if they're open. No, I love one of the things I love about this Iowa team is the coach. What's his name? Ben McCullum. He was D2 2 years ago, like Northwest Missouri State or something like that. Then he takes Bennett Sturts with him, to Drake, and gets a couple other guys. Gets 2 guys from Wyoming that played 2 years ago in Jeff Linder's last year, right? They're starting for Iowa. You got guys from D2, all these low major, mid-major players, that have come up, and they're knocking off the defending national champions. That just tells me, you don't need 4 or 5-star guys to have a crazy efficient offense. Now you have to have a coach who's sort of a guru at what he does, and he's an amazing offensive mind, and the sets he runs they blow you away. I don't see us running anything like that at SDSU, but that's got to give you hope if you're a mid-major that a coach can take guys from D2 and lower major schools and bring them to a high major school, and they're able to be just so effective and able to knock off the top teams in the country. That's amazing to me.
So, guys, I wanted to show you all this stuff because it obviously stirs up these type of questions, comments, conversation, right, about in turn the Aztecs and what do they got to do to get back to this spot that we're not used to not being in the dance, right? I mean, it's 2017? Is that what it was? Something like that. 19. Okay. So, I mean, it's a feeling that we're not really comfortable with. Mike, I don't know how many games you've watched in the tournament since this opening week. I think we kind of represent all the fans, though, right? Some Aztecs fans are still dialed in just because they want to watch games. They want to see what they're missing out there. Some fans are kind of just like, well, the Aztecs aren't in it, so I'm not going to stay as glued to it. And I tried not to be so glued into it, but I was home this past week, so I got to watch pretty much everything. So it kind of just sucked me back in. But I mean, with Fiend, let's talk about that with the Aztecs and just like the offense, right? Because I mean, Mike would always bring it up, like this is one of the highest scoring teams that in history, and that's all tremendous stuff, but then it's like the efficiency, right? It's the productivity. The numbers are one thing, and we talked about it, Fiend, a little bit. Did it really meet the mark? The numbers are one thing, but when you look back on this season, it was like a hodgepodge of chemistry, of lineups. We've kind of beaten it over the head with all the issues throughout the year, but moving forward, it's going to be real interesting to see. Okay, what do they learn? Because I don't think it's all just the personnel. It's not all on the kids. It's not all on the players, right?
No.
I mean, we've seen it in the tournament so far, whether it's High Point, Iowa, like all these mid-major teams that, okay, maybe they didn't make it to that second weekend, but they did some damage and they really proved some things. You look at Utah State for a perfect example, guys. We were watching that game. Fell against Arizona, but man, did they give a puncher's chance, right? I mean, they really, really held their own. Nothing to be discouraged about other than the fact that, look, Arizona's coach said it, like they have a lot more money to invest in their team and in their players. But at the end of the day, like Utah State, the efficiency, the defense, it got them within a puncher's chance. I don't know where else to go from as far as Utah State goes, but that coach is leaving now. He's obviously signed to his alma mater at Cincinnati, Calhoun. What kind of like can of worms does it open up to you guys, or does it not at all? Do you guys think, hey, just keep plugging away with what we do, change the personnel, and stick with the process, right?
I'll let Mike go first on this one.
I know I'm kind of all over the place.
I think there's no one clear answer of one thing. Obviously, you have to change things up a little bit, right? But your foundation should be your foundation. I think we got away from that a little bit this year, obviously. But your foundation is still, you build a program on defense and rebounding. That's what it's been the last 25 years, right? Now, the NIL thing is a whole different equation you got to factor into it because, like Fiend talks about, it does affect the game, So, I mean, I know for the fact the coaches are going to do something different. You know what I mean? They have to do something different. What that is, we'll find out. But, this team is not going to be the same as next year. So it's going to be difficult. It's difficult to compare teams every year, right? But definitely something's got to change. You got to get back a little bit more to your roots. What that change is, I don't know. Not sure. It's going to depend on who we bring in and what we do. But, you can't. Sometimes when something bad, you learn more from when you fail than when you succeed sometimes, So this is a good, hey, we had 5 good years in the tournament, right? We've had some good runs. I was talking to somebody the other day and I'm like, did going to the national championship help or hurt our fans in terms of their mentality? Do you know what I mean? Like now it's like, if we don't get to the Final Four every year, it's you know what I mean? So it's, in a sense, I just kind of been walking around thinking about that is, it was great to go, but did it help or hurt the program in terms of the fans' mentality of what to expect every year? You can't expect to go to the Final Four every year, but you want to, right? So, yeah, I mean, there's going to be something different next year. What it is, I don't know, but we're going to find out here in, 2 weeks, right, when the portal opens and see what, once May 1st hits, we're going to have a pretty good idea of what we're looking at as a roster.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you 100% that sometimes failure is a good thing in that it forces you to look at what went wrong, right? And it's a lot easier to not do that when you're having success because it's kind of like if it's not broke, why fix it, right? But I think it's really important, especially in this game and in this day and age with everything, how this game is evolving. You got not only the NIL, you have the transfers from Europe, you have the metrics, you have a lot of young coaches who are very innovative in their offensive, defensive strategies, and so and then they have just a different way of structuring practices and stuff like that. I think there's a lot that our coaches especially can kind of think back and really reflect on and assess, take stock in what they're doing well and what they can be doing better. I mean, Dutcher had talked about, well, I can't get these guys to, to practice, that they're not playing with joy, well, maybe that's something that Dutcher and his coaching staff need to look at and say, well, how can we structure these practices differently so that they can be more fun while the kids are learning the principles and the things that they need to do to make us a better, ball club, whether that's just, learning through playing instead of doing endless drills. I don't know. I'm not at practice. I don't see that. But what I'm saying is that the coaches really can reflect back on the season and see, okay, well, how can we make this better? How can we do this better? How can we have these kids learn and buy into what we're trying to teach them, right? Because if you continue to try to teach one way and you're not getting any results, the best thing to do is to switch it up and try something different. And so, I don't know. Is it just this group of players? I'm not sure. It's a different, we're getting, kids are the age groups are changing, right? And so you got to adapt, right, as you get older. And so I think it starts there with the coaches. And I really think that if they want to get kids to buy, if they really want to be a national title contending or like Final Four, Sweet 16, you got to look at the numbers of where the teams are metrically that are in the Sweet 16 or in the Final Four. And you say, okay, this is what we need to shoot for. This is what we need to go for. So you put sort of like a tangible, something that they can see and they can strive for and say, okay, and this is how we need to do this to achieve this. We need to improve our rebounding. We need to take better shot selection. We need to be make better decisions with the ball and not turning it over and stuff like that, and valuing every possession. That's where I think it starts with the coaches, and they really need to teach that. And it starts now in the off season.
Thank you again, T-Mac, for the super, of course. I think that's kind of what we're seeing here in the chat. Guys are talking about European pro players or just older guys in general, right? More mature guys. I think that's something to tap into, because whether it's football or like what we're talking, you guys make sure you go watch Caleb Davis's interview on the football side. They're talking about retention, and with football, you got a lot of players on the field, both sides, right? And so they retain like 21 out of 25 guys. That's a lot of snaps. That's a lot of reps. That's a lot of real game time experience. In basketball, I mean, it's the same thing, right? You want to get guys that are experienced, that have whether it's starting experience, whether it's overseas, whether it's at D2, whatever it is, you want a guy that's not coming in completely, fresh to the idea of being the man or having your skill set already defined. I think that's a big point of emphasis as far as your roles, knowing what kind of player you are and how you can fit to the team. But like what you're saying, Fiend, is like, okay, you got to tweak up. What is the team going to be about? The efficiencies, the metrics, all that stuff. I think they will. I think they will dive deeper into the metrics. I think you have to, right? You have to at this point, because if not, other teams with bigger budgets, this whole Moneyball theory, I mean, right, it started with the lower market teams in baseball. But then once the big market teams got a hold of the formulas and exactly where to spot, how to get talent, I mean, then you're on to the next advantage that you can try to figure out and get ahead of the curve somehow.
I mean, Dutch always adjusts. Every year he's good at adjusting. His hubris never gets in his way, I don't think. You know what I mean? Because every year he's got something he's got to do differently. But you also the components you have. Really? Yeah. But I don't. He adjusts every year. Maybe not as much as he should, but he adjusts every year.
Yeah, we're running the same offense though that we've had like for the past 3 or 4 years. I mean, it's like the same thing.
This wasn't the same offense if you're scoring 84 points a game.
No, well, we were scoring more because we were creating turnovers and getting out in transition, getting a lot of transition buckets, and our pace increased. That's why we were getting more points. Didn't mean that we were more efficient with the ball and shooting, but we were getting out.
You don't think
in
he adjusts
transition more?
He adjusts every year. There's always something he adjusts. You know, you have to.
I'm not saying he doesn't adjust something. I'm just saying he is set in his ways in some respects.
Here's what I'm going to say.
I'd like to see more change. That's
if
all.
you don't have all the puzzle pieces, you can't put the puzzle together.
Bill Pochi, he nailed it right on that. Spain action. Yeah.
Sometimes you need sometimes you don't have the pieces.
We run Spain action 25%. You know.
Why do you? Let me ask you a question. I know you love that. Why do you think they don't run that?
I don't know. I don't know, because we get wide open every single time because you're adding in 3 players into an action and it just creates chaos for the defense and we get wide open looks. I don't know why he doesn't run it.
That's an interesting question because, obviously
makes no sense to me. If it's working, why wouldn't you just run it until they figure out a way to stop it?
Then the question is, why aren't you running it? You know what I mean? Which obviously we don't know, But
I'm not sure that Battertelli really has the, free reign to implement his offense. I don't know that for sure, but I'm sure that Dutch has some control over that. And we're 102nd in KenPom, so you gotta take notice to that and make some adjustments because 102 whatever KenPom over 100. We're not getting back to the tournament, or we're going to be a fringe tournament team with a good defense. We're not getting to a Sweet 16. We're not getting to Elite 8 or Final 4. So you got to make some changes there.
T-Mac says, when we played UConn, you could tell that they drilled relentlessly. They ran their plays like robots. UConn was, my goodness. I mean, especially those championship years, and especially they're still doing it now with, what's his name, Caravan. They just run multiple sets. I remember being there in the Final Four after we beat FAU, and I was rooming with Dan, and he was like, dude, UConn runs like so many set plays, and then they have variations off of those, and it's just like sometimes they'll run plays that they've never ran before. They just have them just stacked in the crates, pulling them out. It takes, that type of a discipline, that type of a learning relentlessness to the craft. And, Mike, I think there's a point to what you're saying, though. It's like, if you got the guys that are willing to do that, what you got as a coach. Sometimes you don't want to overload. You know what I mean? You're not going to overload. You're going to spoon feed if you have to. If you're going to cut that steak up in bites that you can digest. You can't have it all, is what I'm saying, if you don't have those pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants everything perfect.
Right.
It's like life. You got to figure it out with what you got. And maybe this year you got something that you didn't have last year and you might not have next year, but you play it. Obviously Dutch has say in whatever goes on with his assistants. He's the head coach. He's the guy. They got to answer to him. So to me, I don't know what happened this year. You know what I mean? Like, would I have liked to go to the tournament? Yeah, of course. But we didn't. So what do you do to fix that? You adjust it. And like I said, I think Dutch, he can transition. He can adjust really well. Now, the problem with us is, as a mid-major, you got to find those diamonds in the rough before they say, oh, well, what else is out there? Where else am I going to go? We build a program on 0-star and 2-star, products, right? So you get these guys like, I fully expect Magoon to go out again in transfer portal and see what's out there. That's his, he owes it to himself. These kids don't owe anything to anybody but themselves, right? There is some courtesy to it, though. You do it the right way. It's like when you leave a job, you got to do it the right way, right? So, but these, even Dutch says, he's like, hey, I would go out and look and see what you got, man. We're always here for you. You're always an asset for life. See what you can do. Because at the end of the day, he wants the kids to succeed in life and in basketball, right? And that's what I love about our coaches is, hey, you guys leave, you're still an asset for life. Nick Boyd, everybody's upset he left, but he was back in the jam center working out. That it's a lifelong commitment with these guys, and they know how it works. But they need to figure out. They got to have a little magic, a little lightning in that bottle too. A lot of these teams do for us because some powerhouses out there, man. That you it's tough.
Let's talk a little bit about it though, guys, because the Sweet 16 that where we're at now, no mid-major programs there, right? When you look at Gonzaga, Utah State didn't advance to the Sweet 16. San Diego State didn't make it this time around. So the Pac-12 that we're going to be moving into, I mean, we are the 3 at that top of the conference there. How do you guys see the outlook moving forward, especially now Utah State loses Calhoun, their 5th coaching change in the last decade, which is absolutely ridiculous. They're going to be on the hunt for another coach coming up. I saw St. Mary's head coach is now headed to ASU. So that's another shot there, because I know there were always rumors about the Pac-12 going after St. Mary's possibly as like a Gonzaga basketball only. I don't know about that. I don't really care for that. But yeah, what do you guys think? Gonzaga now didn't make it, got upset by Texas, if that's an upset. I don't think selling the van is going to produce much NIL revenue to get to bring Magoon back or like anything like that, guys. But hey, it could help, right? It could help. What do you guys think about the Pac-12, man? Especially moving forward, Utah State, Fiend, that you were really pulling for those guys to beat Arizona.
Yeah, I think they're going to be fine. I mean, look, they've had 4 coaches now? 5 are they on their 5th? I lose count now. Yeah, I think they're going to be on their 5th in like 5 or 6 years, and they don't miss a beat. They don't miss on hires. Like I said, there's so many like younger head coaches at lower major programs that are running just amazing offense and just I think they'll just bring up one of those guys and they'll have a lot of success. They've got the fan base, they've got the funds behind them, and they've got a good culture of basketball there. And so I think I don't think they're gonna miss a beat. I think they will get a great hire and they'll just reload.
I mean, until something different happens there, they just plug and play with that coach. You know what I mean? So they keep winning. They won. I mean, they've been in the top 1 or 2 the last 3 or 4 years in a row, right? With different coaches.
Yeah, and the coaches bring in all their guys from the lower majors, and they wind up being really good in their systems. And I think they'll be fine. They'll be fine in the Pac-12.
In terms of Gonzaga, I'm seeing 15 mil. I don't know. Might have to fact check that. Give me a link for that 15 mil in the chat, Raj. Give me a link. If you could source that would be incredible. Of course, Gonzaga does have an advantage of not having a football program, right? They are a full university, so all their NIL funds, all their revenue sharing can go. The lion's share is going to go to hoops. I mean, they have a proud hoops tradition now, so a little bit of a leg up for them. Which I'm fine with that. I mean, they are going to be the big dog in the conference without a doubt. You got to have it. I've been seeing a lot of chatter online, of course. Oh, they shouldn't have left the Mountain West, the Pac-12 teams, and it's like, guys, no matter how you slice it, just because you saw Gonzaga fall and Utah State fall, they were in the tournament. They were projected to make it into the Sweet 16 or Elite 8 or possibly deeper. There was not one Mountain West team that even made the tournament. Like, we're talking NIT, right, Mike? Nevada is in the NIT in New Mexico. Very proud Wolfpack Nation up there, dude.
They're very excited. They're very excited for themselves. I'm happy for them. They gave me oh, you're too good for the NIT. Yeah, we are. We're not going to go to it. Plus, we had all those injuries, and there's a bunch. I mean, I don't. Who knows what's going on? I just think Dutch is like, you know what, man, we're good this year. We're gonna go
turn the page.
Yeah. So, it is what it is. But I hope they play well. I hope them in New Mexico play well. I hope they get what they need to get to, and it'd be kind of cool to see them if it worked out that way to play each other. But I mean, I don't know. Nevada's got Auburn. That's gonna be a tall test, but You know,
It seems like Graham Ike has been at Gonzaga for 8 years.
Yeah,
it really does. It really does.
Yeah, man. Like that's.
Lenny was at Wyoming for a while too.
Yeah,
2 years,
so
right?
tired.
2 years.
Yeah.
So tired of that guy. I think Gonzaga is going to be fine. That's not even a question, guys. It's not even a question.
Yeah, I think the only question would be like if their head coach retired or something like that, or then that would change things. But I think they'll reload next year. Like you said, they have the funds to do it. I think it's great for the Pac-12. Honestly, it gives you someone to shoot for, right? Like we want to raise our brand, we want to raise our play, and that they're going to help you do that because you're going to get tired. You get tired of taking L's to them, and you're going to want to beat them. And so, they've really gotten good in the last 10 years. They've always been pretty good in like the last 25 years, but really in the last 10. But yeah, they're gonna be fine.
As far as the other teams in the Pac-12, there's got to be improvement. Colorado State can't be losing in the NIT one and done. Boise State's got to up their game. And, of course, I don't know what we're going to get with Texas State, Fresno State. That's another episode for another time. We'll have to do a deep dive into maybe Texas State basketball. I have no idea what they do. None. But either way, the floor is higher than the Mountain
They got
West.
good barbecue there.
Yeah, hey, yeah. Hey.
Lodi.
Do they serve ribs in the arena? Some brisket, maybe? Let's make it happen. Let's go.
They ain't no Bucky's.
Oh, no Cinderellas though in the tournament, guys. I'm excited still. I mean, has this tournament felt more exciting or less exciting for you guys now that there really are no Cinderellas? I hate to say it, but it's been a pretty freaking exciting tournament, guys. This first weekend was pretty good. I know it's Iowa, when you got Nebraska and Iowa pulling off upsets. And you got, High Point. Then you got, who else you got pulling off upsets? St. John's the first time in a long time making it this deep. But they're a Big East team. They're not exactly, they're not chopped liver. It's New York we're talking about. But it's tough. It's tough to argue with it. It's been a really, really exciting, entertaining tournament, regardless of the mid-major, participation.
I mean, go ahead, Mike.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, I mean, at this point in time, most of the Cinderellas are knocked out anyway. I mean, there might be one or two, that make it past to the Sweet 16 or beyond. But usually, then you have the strongest teams that are, competing against each other, and that's the kind of tournament you get. For me, it's been disappointing. I mean, just the lack of upsets. You're not seeing any of these 15, 14, 13, 12, 112, right, was High Point. You're not seeing any of those upsets. Those are always fun to see. And that's what makes the madness of the tournament. Can you really call it madness anymore? Because it's just kind of as expected, right?
Yeah, I mean, as long as they're to me, it's as long as the games are exciting. That's what I want to see. I want to see a good, fun basketball game. You know what I mean? That's what to me is captures my attention this time of year when my team's out. You know what I would like to see? The women go into Allen Fieldhouse and beat them and go on to Wichita, Kansas.
Quite honestly, I probably will be watching that instead of the Sweet 16.
100%. I'll be watching that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
On the
Heck
Ocho.
yeah. Is it on the Ocho?
I don't know what's that. No. It's on ESPN Plus.
ESPN Plus, and then when they get to the Final Four, I think it's ESPNU, and then ESPN2 is the championship game.
ESPN2 championship, yeah. But you also get to see like Tammy Blackburn on there. Like we talked about with Greg.
Sure, girl.
Just listening to her, you just there's a comfortability of knowing her as an Aztec. And she's a great announcer. So I'm proud of these ladies. They are having tied for the most wins in school history for them, which is pretty sweet, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, they win one more. I think they have 4 seasons in a row of 20+ wins. So they're really building something special over there. They win one more game, they go, they just win the next one. Just win the next one. You gonna go, Fiend, to Allen Fieldhouse?
I'd love to, but I can't. No.
Oh boy. Max says the Pac-12 metrically ranks above the ACC. Is that true? That can't be true. Fourth best conference ranking above the ACC by the metrics. I don't know
talking about
that.
an aggregate, maybe, because I mean, the ACC has a lot of bad teams at the bottom of the conference that drag it down. But I don't know about that, because I mean, you got Fresno State, you got Texas State. I'm not sure about that, but I will say the ACC was kind of a fraud this year. I mean, you got Duke, and then who else? Who else made the Sweet 16 from the ACC? They all got bounced, right? UNC, Clemson.
I'm not seeing
Louisville.
anybody.
They all got bounced, pretty much.
It's a lot of Big Ten. A lot of Big Ten.
Big Ten, SEC,
Yeah.
Big 12.
SEC.
Virginia was a 3 seed, and they got beat. Like they underachieved.
Got bounced. That's what I mean. Like all these teams. I mean, SMU, they got beat by Miami of Ohio, right? First round. And so I feel like you could have maybe left out one or two of those ACC teams and put us in there, or another mid-major team, but that's water under the bridge. But they were definitely fraudy. I'll go as far as say that.
Fraudy. Okay, guys, let's take a quick look at the bracket before we sign off, because this is the big dance, guys. Come on now. This is where we want to be. We're not there right now, but we will be back. What do you guys get excited for when you look at this bracket? Duke St. John's, that's a juicy matchup. No? Oh, Fiend gave the little side eye. I think that's a real juicy matchup. I think Duke can go down. I think St. John's could take them.
They're all juicy.
We'll see.
I think they're all juicy. I mean, I'm looking at Michigan, Alabama. Alabama absolutely curb stomped Texas Tech. Absolutely just obliterate them. And you got Michigan. That, to me, Michigan's a 9.5-point favorite. I don't know much about Alabama, but to me, that's a very interesting game.
I just wonder if St. John's has the firepower to stay with Duke. This is two very good defensive teams.
It's a tough one. I think Duke, they're very talented, but they're also very young, right? I mean, the Boozer Bros.
Yeah.
They could be had. I don't know if St. John's is the one to take them, but I think they could be had. Of course, you got Michigan State, UConn in that other side that will be playing the winner of that game. And it's not the UConn that we're used to seeing, but they're still pretty dang good. That's going to be a fun one. Michigan State's always tough. Izzo's the man.
I think there's great matchups. Arizona, Arkansas. Duke, to me, got scared by Siena that first round. Now, Jerry McNamara, I was looking, I was like, oh, yeah, he's got hired by Syracuse, which makes sense. But I think that was that. Do you take a game like that where you get the shit scared out of you, as one of the number one seeds, and then you handled TCU pretty good. That's how do you? I'm going to see how they respond, because you get that first game where you're like, oh shit, we could have been out. Then you realize, oh man, we got to pick it up. So, but a lot of these other games are really, really. Michigan State, UConn, it's some good ass basketball. This is like feast week in the NCAA tournament. I don't know if I would. I mean, this is going to be a great Sweet 16.
Texas looks like, I think they still have a matchup that they can get by somehow. They can get by Purdue, man. So just, man, from the play-in game, they've got a good road. They got potential to take it even further.
Well, I mean, we've seen firsthand that any team can beat any team at any given time at this point. Nobody gave us a chance against Alabama. Nobody really gave us a chance against Creighton. Remember Charles Barkley kept picking against us every game? Remember that every single game? And so you look, I mean, when was the last time well, I guess we don't have. Yeah, this will be interesting, man. This is going to be wild. Florida being out, that was crazy. This is going to be fun,
Houston, Illinois on the other side, and then Iowa State, Tennessee. Iowa State is just demolishing everybody they've played so far. Of course, they played Tennessee State and Kentucky, but Man, they look tough. That's gonna be fun.
Kentucky, $20 million roster too, and that just goes to show you that you can throw all the money you want at it, but that doesn't guarantee you're going to make a Sweet 16. $20 million.
It's a daunting number, right? But like what you just said, Fiend, it doesn't guarantee anything. And that's got to, as an Aztec fan, that's got to make you feel good. That's got to give you that hope that, look, if we can just dial it in, do our research in San Diego, use that to your advantage as far as wanting to play here for the tradition, for the city, for the schooling, for everything, all the resources you're going to be able to have. You got to use all that to your advantage when it comes to the recruiting trail and the transfer portal. You don't have to spend $20 million to win a natty. You don't have to. So that's got to leave you with a little bit of a positive spin to it. So
that's why I want Iowa. That's why I want Iowa to go all the way. Like the team that I will root for is Iowa, just because they have all these D2 guys, lower major guys, and like an amazing coach. And like if they could pull that off and just keep knocking off teams, to me that would just be awesome. And that would give a lot of mid-majors hope, because they're basically like a mid-major team playing at a Power 4 level.
Big O, I love the question. Happy belated birthday to you, Big O. He asks, what is the best party college that's still left in the bracket? Any thoughts, guys? I don't know if I've been to Michigan. Ann Arbor is a fun place to be. That is for sure. We've obviously partied in Houston for the Final Four. Tucson, been to Arizona, been to Tucson. That was a lovely experience. A lot of beautiful scenery out there. Never been to Texas though. Austin, never been there on that campus. I don't know. I don't know what the best answer is, but maybe it's Arizona.
I would have to think maybe it would be like a SEC school. Like
Tennessee? No.
Tennessee, Alabama, Texas. Maybe.
I'd probably say Texas or man, that's a tough one. I'd probably go with Texas.
It's definitely not Nebraska.
What? No. Out there in the cornfields, dude, all that corn salsa.
No, thank you.
all those tortillas. Guys, thank you for joining the stream. We're just fans. We're loving this March Madness, no matter how you slice it. I wish we were in it, but I'm having a blast watching these games, and just we all want the Aztecs to be back. I'm determined they will be back next season. And when we hear of a portal signing, we'll be right there to talk about it. If we get some early names, hopefully we get some leads on some early names on who's on the watch list. Can't really give any watch list names right now. I don't think there's any specifics that I think we can really, really point to and say there's meat on the bone. That's an Aztec. That's an Aztec. A lot of wishful thinking out there online, but until I think we get some solid names, just got to enjoy the tournament for what it is right now, and just let's hold on tight and see who we retain. Yeah, we can get into that next time, who we want to retain, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
By the way, apparently my Alabama is the top party school left.
Tuscaloosa.
I'll still take Austin. Yeah, and we don't know, like, as far as personnel too. I mean, are all of our coaches staying? Is there anyone that might be, entertaining offers to go elsewhere? Any head coaching jobs? I don't know. So there's a lot that hasn't been sort of, decided yet, and we'll see how that shakes out.
A lot of shakeup still. And like you said, I mean, who knows from Utah State who's going to be heading out to Cincinnati, right? I mean, you have to think El-Amin is going to head off to Cincinnati, go play for that coach. I mean, so there's a lot of shakeup left to be had. We'll be there to cover it all. Thank you guys, everybody in the chat. Your comments, of course, Swish League this summer. Looking forward to that, Bill. A couple months towards that, but we got some time. Make sure you guys stay tuned this week Hopefully another Spitballers episode, baseball, softball. Make sure you guys getting caught up on that last episode. Really cool to hear like the details, the ins and outs of what's going on with baseball and softball. Really cool stuff. And of course, football spring camp started yesterday. It was open to the public today, I believe. I don't know if it is for the remainder of the time, but they are out there working and building the Aztecs for 2026. Check out our articles detailing Coach Lewis and Davis and all that stuff, the Moneyball approach for football. So excited to see that on basketball side, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Let us know in the comments who you guys got winning this next rounds of games, and we'll see you guys very soon. You guys hungry? Go get dinner. Go get dinner, Mike. Dinner time, supper time. Let's go.
Goodbye. Go Aztecs. Don't find me.
Go Aztecs.
Get out of here. See you guys.